How is it going, everyone? I am the YuGiOh scrub, but you all can call me Bailey. And do you guys have those days where you don't even know really why it was long? Nothing in particular felt like it dragged on, but your brain just isn't working at 100% capacity. Now that I say it, usually that happens as I'm getting sick, so I really hope that's not going on right now, but who knows? I, over the weekend, was exposed to people with neurovirus. Did everything I could to not get it, but who knows? Could be, dealing with that in the coming days, but you don't care about my personal life. You guys care about this cool Fiend Aggro deck that I'm bringing you today. This was a subscriber suggestion from a very long time ago, but like so long ago I've lost that comment. It was long before I was saving comments. But if you guys want to let me know what you want me to play in the future, leave some comments below, and I will do my best to read them. I do read everyone. But let's talk about this Fiend Aggro deck. Obviously, Fiend Aggro, you're going to be playing with Dark Necrofear. It is the reason you're playing this deck. Banish 3 Fiends from the graveyard, so similar to a Chaos Monster, except instead of a Light and a Dark, it's Banish 3 Fiends. 2200, 28, so a pretty beefy body. Nothing can, or not nothing, but very few things can get over 2800 defense. But during the end phase, if this card, while it's on your side of the field, is destroyed by battle or card effect by your opponent's card, basically, whether it's your opponent's monster or a card effect, that it can attach itself in the end phase as an equip card, and you steal whatever your opponent's monster is. So you can steal a BLS, you can steal a Chaos Orc, whatever it is, it just becomes a snatch steal. But what fiends are we running to put in the graveyard to fuel this Dark Necrofield? We're running 3 Giant Orc. This is where I was toying with this deck for a while, trying to figure out what the best fiends are, because there's honestly a bunch of different ways you can go. You can go Mystic Tomato route and go with like tiny fiends. You can go bigger fiends, kind of make a fiend beatdown. I did somewhere in between where it's like fiend, control, beatdown, chaos. Running 3 Giant Orc, 2200 attack, 0 defense. It is basically Goblin attack force, but attached to a dark fiend rather than an earth warrior. 2200, 0. When it attacks, it goes to defense position at the end of the battle phase, and then it can't swap until the end of the, not next turn, but the turn after that. Slate Warrior, one of this, could have run more. The deck that I was taking inspiration from on GoatFormat.com was running this at 2. Really, really interesting card. I believe, if I recall, this was like an old, I mean, obviously these are all old cards, but in old GOAT format, before it was more developed, this was a pretty common card back when people just looked at it and were like, hey, it's a flip effect that gains 500 attack. Well, that's pretty nice. A 2400 normal set monster. So you set it, flip it if it does survive, and then when you flip it, it becomes a 2400. I mean, that sounds really good to have a 2400 normal summon. But it has lost favor. It's a wind. If it was a light or a dark, I'm sure it'd be used so much more. It's also a fiend and not a warrior or anything, even though it's called Slate Warrior. I imagine you would see more of it if it was a warrior or a light or dark, but it is a fiend. So for purposes of this deck, it is exactly what we want. Just 1, because even though the deck, I like I said, took inspiration from was running 2, they weren't running any Giant Orcs, and I feel like Giant Orc does something similar, as well as fulfilling the purpose of being a deck dev target. So that's why we're running 3 Orcs and only 1 Slate Warrior. Then triple Newdoria, this is just removal. If it gets destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you target 1 monster on the field, destroy that target. Now, this is mandatory, so in theory, if your opponent has a 1200 attack monster and you have, say, Newdoria and Dark Necrofear, or Newdoria and Giant Orc, whatever it might be, if they ram into the Newdoria has to pop a monster on the field, so it would have to pop your own card. Doesn't come up very often, but that is important to know that it is a mandatory effect, and it can pop your own cards as well. And then Sangan, if you're running a Fiend deck, you're of course going to be running the Sangan. The other Fiends, triple Giant Germ, just a fun little card. It's Fiend, does 500 damage when it's destroyed by battle, and sent to the graveyard, and then you get to special summon 2 more Giant Germs. So it's a kind of burn card, but really it's just a Fiend that can get more Fiends to the field, and thus fuel the Dark Necrofear. The deck, like I've said many times, that I took inspiration from was running triple Karibo. I do like the idea of triple Karibo because it's protection, but also it can fuel Fiends into the grave without needing normal summons. But they weren't running any Regeki breaks, and so it kind of does a similar thing. Rather than discarding the Karibo immediately to the grave, the Regeki break acts as a removal and discard. 1 Night Assailant, 1 Theban Nightmare. I honestly don't love this card, but it is a light fiend, and so it serves the purpose of being a fiend for the BLS. A light for the BLS and a fiend for Dark Necrofear. And then triple Thunder Dragon, just because we want some more lights to fuel the BLS. And then last but not least, a Morphing Jar, because it can put a bunch of fiends into the graveyard, potentially fuel our hand and give us pluses. It's just a good card. Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, Duel in the side deck. Just space is really, really tight. Heavy Storm, True Nade, because it's kind of an OTK deck. You're looking to put some big monsters on the board, like a BLS or Dark Necrophyte, and then either use Return or Dimension Fusion to bring back what you banish. Maybe a couple Giant Orcs, a Slate Warrior, maybe a Thunder Dragon. And then, yeah, you're bringing them back after clearing the back row with True Nade or Heavy Storm. MST, Snatch Steal, Premature. They weren't running Premature in the deck I took inspiration from, but I think with the Giant Orcs, it's pretty good. United We Stand, Lightning Vortex. Also, it's good with the Giant True Nade. Double Creature Swap. This is something I think with Newdoria, it's pretty good. Also decent with like Sangan, Karibo maybe, Giant Germ. There's enough targets where Creature Swap is interesting. Dimension Fusion, Nobleman across out, only one, the other's in the side because space, and then the trap lineup. Return, they were running 2 Dimension Fusion. I want to use a Return. Regeki Break, and then pretty standard, Mirror Force, Ring of Destruction, Torrential Tribute, and then Magic Cylinders to maybe steal an extra little win because of some burn damage. But let's go ahead, we've talked about the deck. Join the GOAT format ladder. As we do in these videos, click this button for your viewing pleasure and hope that everyone is having a fantastic day. And if you're not having a fantastic day, turn this video off, please. You can come back to it later. I'm not going anywhere, I promise. It's on YouTube forever. I'm on the internet. My persona, the YuGiOh scrub that is me, will be here when you come back. But you need to be having a fantastic day. That is the rule. No one wants to play me today. Let me take a quick sip of coffee. Normally my fantastic day rant brings the people. Don't tell anyone. Might be a little bit late for coffee, but I've already made it and committed to drinking it, so that's what I'm doing. I have started putting my TCGPlayer affiliate link back in the description below. If you guys want any cards, sleeves, anything like that, anything TCG related, Yu-Gi-Oh! Or other TCGs, you can click that link and, support me a little bit. But frankly, I just realized I've never gotten rid of my banner that I put from way back in the day when I became an affiliate. And gosh, no one wants to play today. But I was never putting my link in there, just because it wasn't like it was really doing much for me. But, why not? It literally cannot hurt. What is even better, though, is because of everyone here, all the support that you guys have given me, I am now a YouTube partner. I've reached the subscriber count and watch time necessary in order to now have memberships on my channel. I think I even have super thanks now. I might need to enable those. But if you guys want to become a member, I will be doing members-only content. Maybe I'll even do videos like you see them first. We'll figure it out as we go. But of course I don't want to charge a lot of money. I think it's like $2. I did as like minimum as I possibly could. I do not want to take people's money, but of course I want to, if you're gonna give me money, I want to make sure that you're getting something for it. I never want to just take money without providing actual value. That's like my number one thing, is making sure that if I am, gonna be taking anything, I'm giving value. I never want to take and feel like you guys aren't getting what you deserve. Alright, opening hand looks decent. Sangan, Torrential Tribute, Graceful Charity, Dark Necrophyte, Lightning Vortex, United We Stand. We will, I think, just go ahead. We'll keep the Graceful Charity in hand, but we will normal summon Sangan, set Torrential Tribute behind it. Can't really go wrong there. Keeping Graceful Charity in hand, because I think we'll just sit on it. No need to activate it right away. Opponent sets the back row and summons a Kaiku. We will Torrential and declare our Sangan effect. And what do we want to get ourselves? We could go Newdoria. We could go Giant Germ. We'll go Newdoria, I think. We draw Snatch Steal. We'll summon the Newdoria. And attack directly. I don't know what his picture is. If it is a Yu-Gi-Oh card, which it does look like it, it's definitely a newer card. Not one I'm familiar with. Alright, and the 1200 damage from Newdoria does get in. I think we'll just end our turn there. Newdoria would be 2 Fiends in the graveyard, getting closer to the Dark Necrophyte. Could have maybe Graceful, but I want a Graceful when it means something. And right now it doesn't mean anything. Knight of Sand would have been a decent get from the Sangan as well, since we have discard fodder with the Graceful and the Lightning Vortex, but we don't have any flip monsters that we would have been able to get back with the Night Assailant effect, which is why I didn't go that route. Viewing my graveyard. Okay. He summons a Shining Angel. We'll take not 1,200. 200 damage. Declare the Newdoria and pop the Shining Angel. And he just ends his turn. We draw Theban Nightmare. I do think now we will go ahead and Graceful Charity. Drawing Newdoria, Premature, Pot of Greed. I think we'll discard the Theban Nightmare and Lightning Vortex. We'll then Pot of Greed. Drawing MST, Magic Cylinder. So I could summon Newdoria. United We Stand, or Premature Burial, get back something. United We Stand, make it really, really big. But I'm a little afraid of these back row. So I'm just going to go ahead, summon Newdoria. And we'll attack directly. He is thinking, makes me fearful that he may be Sakuretsu armor. No Sakuretsu armor. He takes 1,200. We'll set Magic Cylinder. And we'll set MST. He has Royal Decree. Depending on what he summons. Summons BLS. That is perfect. He banishes his Light and Dark. Then summons Silent Swordsman level 3. Alright, and he banishes Newdoria. We'll take 1,000 from the Silent Swordsman level 3. We draw Creature Swap. We'll go ahead, banish the 3 Fiends that we have in our graveyard for Dark Necrofear. We'll then Snatch Steal. Activate MST on this back row. Okay. I mean, he already had Royal Decree face up, so I don't know what that back row could have been that changed. I should have in response or chained to my own Snatch Steal, activated the MST, that way he couldn't have scapegoated. Okay, what do we want to play in here though? I honestly don't know. Maybe bring in Breaker over Night Assailant, only because we saw Decrees. I'm just gonna go in. He's running a Silent Swordsman deck. I won't lie, I'm not too afraid of it. I don't think I'm playing a fantastic deck, but it is by no means a meta matchup. This is why I like the ladder, because you never know what you're gonna find. Some people hate the ladder because of that reason. They want to play more meaningful and meta games because that's what you're going to be playing when you play a tournament, but then play tournaments. I just want to have some fun. Potentially get demolished on the ladder. Opening hand is Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning, Giant Germ, Ring of Destruction, Regeki Break, and Newdoria. Have I ever shown off my mug? It's like Pokemon's. Not Pokemons, but Pokemon balls. I'm really upset because it's been through the dishwasher, even though it was very clearly labeled not to be. I didn't put it in there, and then some of the Pokeballs have fallen off. But when it was a clean, new mug, oh, such a cool looking mug. Opponent, I think, did he get the Silent Swordsman? Yeah. So he added the Silent Swordsman level 3 to his hand with the reinforcement of the army, and then he summons Silent Swordsman. Then he levels up right away. So technically should tribute the Silent Swordsman level 3, but like it makes literally no difference at all. Summons Silent Swordsman level 5. Does he go for level 8? So it's unaffected by my spell effects. If Decree's face down, that would be not too good. We draw Thunder Dragon, so that's pretty nice. We'll discard Thunder Dragon to get 2 more Thunder Dragons. And I think we're just gonna go a little crazy. And we'll pop that Silent Swordsman level 5. And we'll set Ring of Destruction and Regeki Break. So it is a decree, like I figured it might be. That's why I wanted to make sure that I got the Silent Swordsman off the board by ramming it with Newdoria and not just summoning the Newdoria and sitting on it. He premature burials. Takes 800. But he can special summon the Silent Swordsman level 5. Which is exactly what he does. I can't do anything about it because he has Royal Decree face up. We'll take 2300 from the Silent Swordsman level 5. And next, standby main. We'll go ahead. Banish a Light in the Dark. Special summon BLS. And then we will summon Giant Orc. And we'll attack the face down with Giant Orc. Magician of Faith. Gets back Rhoda or level up. He gets Rhoda. Now go to defense, and then we'll attack over the Silent Swordsman level 5 for 3,700. So we can get DD Warrior Lady or Exiled Force with the Rhoda. Our traps are meaningless at the moment. But he's going to have to use his normal summon. So he gets the Exiled Force. I imagine he's going to be popping the BLS. But he can get over the Giant Orc first. So Exiled Force clears our field. He sets a back row. We draw Heavy Storm. We'll go ahead and normal summon Giant Germ. And try to attack. Hit him for 1,000. Heavy Storm is pointless at the moment because Ring of Destruction or Regeki Break would get destroyed. Like Ring of Destruction I would love to activate for game, but we're not going to be able to. But maybe at some point we'll clear the board with Heavy Storm. He summons DD Warrior Lady. And he does banish the Giant Germ. But we draw Giant Orc. And we'll normal summon the Giant Orc. Attack directly. And Orc will go to defense position. Skill Drain, no, because he has Decree. I was going to say, Skill Drain might have been decent in this matchup. But with the Decree, not really. It would put in work as long as he didn't have Decree, because it would make his Silent Swordsman just vanilla. Draws Graceful Charity. Obviously it's fine, again, because he has Decree. Even if one of these was a Judgment, it wouldn't do anything. Trunade would be a pretty good draw. He has 2 lights, 3 lights, no darks. There's a dark, though. Discards Kaiku and what else? Kaiku and Decree. There's a BLS, okay. If he has a monster that's 1200 or more attack, we lose. 1100 or more. We take 3000 direct. Nobleman a cross out. We have 2 Fiends, not that it makes any difference. Let's go ahead. We'll Heavy Storm. We'll set the Nobleman a cross out and just end our turn. Maybe he plays it safe. Okay, he has Heavy Storm, so we lose. I mean, we lost anyways, but I think here Regeki Break can hit a potential Royal Decree if we set it first. So I think I'm going to keep the Regeki Break in. We have Newdoria, Karibo, Magic Cylinder, Trunade, Snatch Steal, Thunder Dragon. Which Thunder Dragon will turn itself into 2 Thunder Dragons. Card advantage. We'll go ahead then and normal summon Newdoria, set Magic Cylinder, and end our turn. Interesting deck that he's running, though. Silent Swordsman with Decree. I played something similar with my Horus level up deck not too long ago. There's actually, I think, only a few videos ago, but it feels longer because I haven't been posting every single day the way I typically like to. I know I said it in the last video, but there were just stuff going on. You know, life gets in the way sometimes, and although I love you all, like, truly, unfortunately, I have to make some decisions at times, and I can't just always be recording. It is not my full-time job yet. Maybe someday, if you guys support me enough. And if you don't support me enough, well, know that it's your fault. The reason I'm not living the lavish lifestyle is because you guys haven't supported me enough. It's always your fault. So he takes a plus, pops my Magic Cylinder, and we'll take 400 damage from the attack from Breaker over the Newdoria. So we take a neg there. We draw Ring of Destruction. We'll set the Ring of Destruction and end our turn. Is it a Decree? Maybe. You didn't flip it in end phase. So maybe not. He summons a Silent Swordsman level 3. I'll probably take this attack. He levels up. So that's what he was thinking about, if he wanted to level up first or not. And I'm gonna Ring of Destruction that. So we each take 2,300. I draw creature swap. Unfortunate, but we can end our turn knowing that we're safe with the YuGiOh in hand. He's got a light and a dark engraved. Draws Pot of Greed. And then Delinquent Duo. Hits our creature swap, we'll discard a Thunder Dragon. Those, I think, are the two best cards that he could have hit. We'll then discard YuGiOh. So, no Kaiku effect. We draw Giant Germ. Let's go ahead and activate Snatch Steal. Taking this Kaiku. The Book of Moons. Unfortunately, I think we have to Trunade here. I can't risk this Giant Germ attack not going through. I could have maybe used the Trunade first, but I was hoping that the Snatch Shield go through and force out a back row, which I suppose it did force out a back row. We draw another Giant Germ. We'll set the Giant Germ. Hopefully no Nobleman across out. Dark Necrofear or BLS would be really, really nice. Summons Blade Knight. Giant Germ. Summons another one. Only one, unfortunately, because we drew the one the turn before. He takes 500. And I will take, assuming he attacks. I'll take 1,000. He'll take 500 more. Dark Necrofear, Dark Necrofear. Come on, come on. Sangan. We'll set the Sangan and probably end up losing this match. We have to hope he attacks with Blade Knight first for whatever reason. Also doesn't have another normal summon. He has a normal set. Yeah, so... Do we have it? No, we don't have another YuGiOh. YuGiOh would have been a great pickup, but... Unfortunately, we lose. And he quit right away. Okay. Let's go ahead. Join the pool again. Didn't even give me a GG's. Sometimes I feel like I have to say GG's before I click Admit Defeat. Pretty cool I see up here. Horse mode, testing Blue Eyes. Gotta love the fact that Blue Eyes is meta relevant again. Not that I really care at all about the modern game. Which, that's gonna be my question of the day for anyone who's made it this far. What do you guys think about the modern game? Just, is it even playable anymore? I know a lot of people do love it, you know, it's still being printed for a reason. If it was completely pointless, then no one would actually play it, but I just feel like it's jumped the shark. Pokemon's getting better. I've never really played Magic the Gathering too much, but modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just not good. It can't draw a new audience. It's way too confusing. And I know some people, some true fans would say, like, if you just put in the time, you can figure it out pretty quickly. And, like, maybe. Maybe I've just never given it the actual chance I should in order to enjoy it. But it doesn't make me want to give it a chance. Like, if the first step in getting a new player to the game is convincing them that it's worth trying to get into. And if it can't even convince me of that, then why should I play it at all? Alright, he searches Mataza the Zapper with reinforcement of the army, and then he Graceful Charities. We open up Giant Orc, Theban Nightmare, Dark Necrofear, Lightning Vortex, and Torrential Tribute. He discards the Mataza that he just searched. Or maybe a second that he had in his hand, but discards Gravekeeper Spy Matassa. So 2 darks, he sets a monster and a back row and ends his turn. We'll go ahead and activate the Pot of Greed that we just drew for our turn. Drawing Graceful Charity and Giant Germ. Alright. Let's now go ahead and activate the Graceful Charity. Getting Newdoria, Morphing Jar, Ring of Destruction. I think we'll discard Theban Nightmare and Morphing Jar. And I think we summon Giant Orc and attack. Magic Cylinder. And it does go to defense, so that's unfortunate for us. We'll set Torrential Tribute and end. That's like the worst combination of cards. The fact that Magic Cylinder, meaning for me, worst, not bad as in it's a bad combination, but just unfortunate for us, because this was going to go to defense and we just take 2200. Alright, let's go ahead. We'll summon Newdoria and end our turn. He has 2 set monsters. He sets a 3rd and a back row. We draw Heavy Storm. We'll swap the Giant Orc to attack, and we'll try to attack this face down again. He Ring of Destructions now. We'll attack the new set monster. It was a Sangan. He gets Injection Fairy Lily. We'll end our turn. Delinquent Duo. Hits our Ring of Destruction. And I think we'll get rid of Dimension Fusion. I don't know if we're going to be activating it at all this game. I think we will change Newdoria to defense, and I think we'll set Night Assailant. Cyberjar. Yeah, I suppose that's fine. He has Big Bang Shot, Pot of Greed, Mind Control, Jar of Greed, Ceasefire. And we get Magic Cylinder, Creature Swap, Premature, Return. Newdoria gets summoned to the field. And I'll summon it in attack position. I don't want it to get... I mean, I suppose you can Mind Control it anyways, but we'll summon it in attack. No potential Nobleman to cross out. He does Mind Control it. I'm gonna go ahead and... I have to Torrential Tribute. Big Bang Shot would go to his hand. Big Bang stays in hand. Yeah, no. Just because there's no opportunity for me to use it. We'll go ahead and Heavy Storm here. Jar of Greed, Scapegoat, Ceasefire. Let us now go ahead and we'll banish Newdoria, Giant Orc, Newdoria for Dark Necrofear. Activate Premature Burial. Discarding Karibo. Premature Burial. Pay 800 to summon Theban Nightmare. Summon Giant Germ. And I don't know, is this game 25 plus 20? Yeah, it is. 25 plus 22. Oh, no, it wasn't. Okay, yeah, no, I'm bad. Terrible at math. We'll go ahead and then set Magic Cylinder. And end our turn. So actually, banishing Theban Nightmare, we could have had game if we didn't. We summoned Giant Orc instead of Theban Nightmare. So, misplay by us. Strategic error, not a misplay. We want to win with Magic Cylinder. He sets a monster and a back row. 3 back row, 4 back row. We draw Slate Warrior. We'll go ahead, activate Creature Swap. So he's going to give us a Scapegoat token. Yeah, in that game. Give him a Giant Germ. The 500 burn damage would have been enough. He didn't see... Skill Drains could be interesting. Maybe over True Nade, because he has a lot of chainables. True Nade and Heavy Storm. He has Jar of Greeds. He's got Scapegoat, so opening hand is Graceful Charity, Karibo, Dark Necrofear, Thunder Dragon, Torrential Tribute, Dimension Fusion. We'll start by discarding Thunder Dragon, getting 2 Thunder Dragons to our hand, thinning our deck of some light monsters. Next, we'll activate Graceful Charity. Drawing Giant Orc, Slate Warrior, Snatch Steal. I wonder if Charity would still be used if it was discard 2, then draw 3. And the fact that it's draw 3, then discard, obviously, is incredible. I wonder, because it would still be so good to just see 3 more cards and have free discards. Sometimes discarding cards is really nice. Not always, but often. And I think we'll then go ahead, summon Giant Orc, and just try to attack this monster. It was a Gravekeeper's Spy. So Spy gets destroyed, summons another Spy in defense. Giant Orc will go to defense itself, and we'll set Torrential Tribute. We'll Torrential Tribute, getting rid of the Spy and the Fairy Lily. And our Giant Orc. We draw MST. We'll normal summon Slate Warrior and just try to attack. That's why I didn't want to use MST, because I thought that it might be a Scapegoat. We'll set the MST. No Premature, no Snatch Steal. If he has Metamorphosis, we can MST our own Slate Warrior and take no damage from a 1,000 Dice Restrict attack. He just summons Exile Force and pops that Slate Warrior. We draw Dark Necrofear. We'll end our turn. Not afraid of these Scapegoat tokens, and Karibo can protect our life points. We draw Giant Orc. We can summon the Giant Orc. It'll go to defense, and we end our turn. He activates Rhoda. Might get himself a Mataza. He does get Mataza, which actually is pretty good against our Necrofear because it can't be Snatch Stolen. I'll take 1,300 attack. We'll go ahead, summon Giant Germ, attack over a token. And I do think we're gonna banish 3 Fiends and special summon Dark Necrofear. Next turn, we might be able to go for a game push, or a big push. I don't know about game. But Necrofear in defense keeps it protected. I feel pretty confident putting it in defense because we can, even if it gets destroyed, we can potentially take a token. And then Giant Germ is going to be refueling for the second Necrofear that's in our hand, as well as the Karibo. He might have an equip. And if he has an equip spell, I could actually MST it in Battle Step. There's Trunade, so here comes potentially an OTK. Mind Control takes the Necrofear. Activates a Rhoda for maybe what, Donzalug? No, another Mataza. Acts of Despair. Premature. He's gonna get Fairy Lily. And then we'll summon 2 Giant Germs. They do have to be in attack position. He does... I want him to take the 500. Okay, so yeah. He took the 15. 300. 13. 23. Yeah, okay, so that is game. I think Deck Devastation is going to be really good here. Over Creature Swap. Creature Swaps are pretty bad. I think Karibo's better than Sakuretsu. But Creature Swaps are not good when he has Scapegoat tokens. Opening hand looks pretty good. We have Graceful, Magic Cylinder, Necrofear, Giant Orc, Newdoria, Thunder Dragon. We'll discard Thunder Dragon. Getting 2 Thunder Dragons to hand. Just like last game. Activate Graceful. Getting Nobleman, Torrential Tribute, Morphing Jar. Discarding our Thunder Dragons. And then we'll summon Newdoria. Set Magic Cylinder. Activates Level Limit Area B. Alright. Well, unfortunate. We'll end our turn, though. That is actually very unfortunate, because we don't have many outs. We took out our Heavy Storm. That's an out, though. MST. We'll activate Nobleman. Banishing Gravekeeper Spy. That is a fantastic hit. We'll set Morphing Jar. Set MST. He, unfortunately, Nobleman across outs our Morphing Jar. He also had his own Morphing Jar, but so we get that out of his deck. I'll take it. Delinquent Duo. Hits Theban Nightmare. And we'll discard Giant Orc, because he has Level Limit Area B. Potentially, if we draw Dimension Fusion, we can MST and go for a big game push. With Necrofear, banishing some Fiends. So, that's our game plan right now. We draw Skill Drain. I think we can just end our turn here. Wish Newdoria was a level 3. I feel like it should be. The stat line is a level 3 stat line. The effect is a level 4 effect. Not that that actually means anything, but... Alright, so we have Lights and Darks. We'll just end our turn. He's got a good stall game going right now. We're waiting for Return or Dimension Fusion. We get a second Newdoria. We'll set the second Newdoria and end our turn. There's Giant Germ. We'll summon Giant Germ and try to attack. So now we can start doing some damage. Giant Germs are actually pretty nice against this level limit area B because it doesn't go to defense, and 1,000 isn't nothing. It's not a lot, but it's not nothing. He has 7 cards in his hand, so he's going to have to start either setting or discarding in the end phase. Hitting the Gravekeeper's Spy with Nobleman across out was a huge play this game, because now I don't have to be worried about his defense. We'll go ahead. I'm going to MST. That's Snatch Steal. I don't want him taking my Giant Germ. If he's Snatch Stealing a Giant Germ, that tells me he's kind of desperate. And here is United We Stand. So this would make Giant Germ 3,400. We're going to go for it. A 3,400 attack. Why do you only take 26? Oh, okay. No, he's right. Unfortunately, I'm really stupid. I always misread United We Stand. I don't know. I swear it used to not be face up. But next turn, we can flip up Newdoria. It'll go to defense. Or we don't because it gets Nobleman cross-outed. Big Bang Shot. That's fine. He has Heavy Storm. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We lose Skill Drain. He activates the second level limit area B. There's a return. Unfortunately, we cannot banish anything. He has nothing in his grave. We'll set the Torrential. Actually, should have set return as well. He sets his own back row. There's another Giant Germ. We'll attack. Ring of Destruction. We'll set the return and end our turn. And Slate Warrior draw. We'll pay 800 to special summon the Giant Germ. And attack directly. And unfortunately, Giant Germ. We could have had game because we have a banished Morphing Jar. Oh, that's so stupid. Alright, we draw Karibo. What we can do here, I think, is summon Slate Warrior and Torrential Tribute. Then we go ahead and banish the Giant Germ, Newdoria, and Slate Warrior. Special summon the Necrofear. And then we can special summon our Germs, Morphing Jar, and we'll summon Newdoria. GG's. Oh, that was a pretty good match. I like that one. Even though I missed game that turn before because I forgot about the freaking morphing jar. It wasn't until I saw his morphing jar in the banished zone. I played too fast, guys. But I think that was a pretty nice match to finish on. I'm 50 minutes into the video. It's a fun deck. I honestly thought that it performed a little better than I thought it might. I don't think it's that good. I'm sure there's some optimization. Maybe the triple Karibo really is optimal. I think it depends on the meta a little bit. If you think you're going to be running into a lot of quick, like Chaos Turbo, things that really rely on doing damage to you and kind of get messed up when they are like thinking they're about to go for game and then you just discard Karibo and then you can have a counter attack. That's when Karibo's really important. But I also think having the giant orcs in like a spy heavy metagame, because when spy is on the field, you want to be able to beat over it, and that's where the giant orcs I think come in handy. Also, it gives you just in main deck targets for the deck devastation virus, which I think is also very important. I don't know, things like the creature swaps maybe could be taken out, but it came in handy with that win against the deck with giant germ to be creature swapped. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I am the YuGiOh Scrub, and goodbye.